So there's human nature. To what degree does communism, a lack of exploitation of the working class, naturally emerge? If you leave two people together in a room and come back a year later, if you leave 5 people together in a room, if you leave 100 people and 1,000 people, it seems that humans form hierarchies naturally. So the clever, the charismatic, the sexy, the muscular, the powerful, however you define that, start becoming a leader and start to do maybe exploitation in a non-negative sense, a more generic sense, starts to become an employer, not in a capitalist sense, but just as a human. Here, you go do this, and in exchange, I will give you this. Just becomes the leadership role, right? So the question is, yes, okay, it would be nice. The idea sort of communism would be nice to
it's nice
not
in,
steal
nice
from
in
the
theory, but
nice
it doesn't work in practice because of human nature.
Because of human nature. Thank you. So what can we say about leveraging human nature to achieve some of these ends?
There's so many ways of responding, in no particular order. Here's some of them. The history of the human race, as best I can tell, is a history in which a succession of social forms of society arise, and as they do, they rule out some kinds of human behavior on the grounds that they are socially disruptive and unacceptable. The argument isn't really then, is there a need or an instinct? Is there some human nature that makes people want to do this? Well, whatever that is, this has to be repressed, or else we don't have a society. And Freud helps us to understand that repression is going on all the time, and it has consequences. It's not a finished project. You repress it, it's gone. It doesn't work like that. So, for example, when you get a bunch of people together at some point, they may develop animosities towards one another that lead them to want the other person or persons to disappear, to be dead, to be gone. But we don't permit you to do that. We just don't. Every economic system that has ever existed has included people who defend it on the grounds that it is the only system consistent with human nature, and that every effort to go beyond it has to fail because it contradicts human nature. I can show you endless documents of every tribal society I've ever studied, every anthropological community that has ever been studied, slavery wherever it's existed. I can show you endless documents in which the defenders of those systems, not all of them, of course, but many defenders used that argument. To naturalize a system is a way to hold on to it, to prevent it from going, to counter the argument that every system is born, every system evolves, and then every system dies. And therefore, capitalism, since it was born, and since it's been developing, we all know what the next stage of capitalism is.
We can infer. If what you're saying...
The burden is on the people who think it isn't going to die.
Okay, so it doesn't mean they're wrong, but what you're saying is if we look at history, you're deeply suspicious of the argument. This is going against human nature because we keep using that for basically everything, including toxic relationship, toxic systems,
absolutely,
destructive systems.